It's been my new motto now, sexy snakes. So a couple years ago, I wrote a book about running called Born to Run. And it was really big for a while with people who like run in sandals and run 100-mile races. And I was really psyched to find out it was also big with an actor named Peter Sarsgaard, who was reading it while he was on the set of Green Lantern. So I get this phone call from this Hollywood producer who says, Peter Sarsgaard loves the book and he wants to direct the film version of Born to Run, which is really good news because not only is Peter a fine actor, but he's also married to Maggie Gyllenhaal, who is the sister of Hollywood heartthrob Jake Gyllenhaal. So Peter's hot, he's on fire, he wants to start right away, he wants to start researching this film. And so what he wants to know is, would I be willing to go to Colorado to the race I'd written about, the Leadville Trail 100, and spend a week camping out in a tent with him and Jake watching the race? Now I've seen Brokeback Mountain. And that is not the reason why I said no. I said no because I fucking hate to camp. I mean, our goats sleep under a roof. I am not sleeping in a tent. And number two, I've been to Leadville. If you've been to Leadville, anyone been to Leadville? Of course not. Who's been to Leadville? You been to Leadville? What's the one fact about Leadville that it makes it most famous in the world? It is the highest city in the country. It is the highest altitude city in America, which also often makes it the coldest city in the country. I've been there in May when you've had to wear snowshoes. So don't like camping, don't like snowshoes. I'm not camping out, but I found an alternative. I knew about these little cabins you can rent out in the woods right along the race course for this 100-mile race. So you can be in your little cabin, look out the window, watch the race go by. So that was my alternative, and it was a good alternative because when I arrived, it was just a fucking tornado, man. It is pouring down rain, wind going sideways. I got my little cabin, got a fire going, put some coffee on. I wonder how the movie stars are doing. These dudes were out in the tent. So not long after, knock on the door, and there's Peter Sarsgaard and another guy with like a big bushy beard and sunglasses and this like baseball cap, who was either like a wanted abortion clinic bomber or a young millionaire. So come on inside, and I will tell you right now, nicest guys in the world, so polite, so real listeners, even though I knew the only thing on Jake's mind was getting into the bathroom and taking a hot shower, which he did. And I'll tell you, if you ever have the opportunity to smell Jake Gyllenhaal naked, bottle that essence, man, and get yourself a bottle of Jake by Jake, because there's a lot of like jasmine and like eucalyptus going on. It's fantastic. No, I'm not kidding. He uses fantastic product. So the next day was actually the race, and again, Leadville, small town. The only thing that goes on there is this race once a year. Otherwise, it's nothing but snow and like elk. So we're out on the race course, and Jake was kind of complaining about his life. He had this breakup with Taylor Swift, and she'd written that song about him, and breakup with Reese Witherspoon, and that was in the press. And he's kind of looking around kind of furtive. And what he realizes is out here in Leadville, Colorado, either nobody notices him, or they notice him and they don't give a shit because they're here for this race. So after a while, he's out in the sunshine watching runners go by, and I notice like the hat comes off, and the sunglasses come off, and after a while the shirt comes off, and he's soaking up the sun, and he's like, man, this is just so nice. It's just, no one's asked me if I'm ever going to get back together with Taylor, or no one's asking for pictures. They're just leaving me alone, man, like living life. And at that moment, we look over, and we see these two people do like a head-jerking double snap, like what? And they look around, and they're digging in their backpacks and in their pockets, and they're coming out with like cell phones and cameras, and like Jake just sighs, is like, I spoke too soon. And they come bustling up, and they come up to us really excited, and they hand the camera to Jake. And they say, would you take a picture of us with Mr. McDougall? And Jake's like, I'd be delighted. I'm like, sorry, dude, man, only in this woods on this day. And he's like, no, go right ahead. He's working these things for like 20 minutes, man. He's like fucking with the f-stop and rearranging positions. And over here, there's a better backdrop. We took a picture for like 20 minutes. And at the end, he hands back the camera. These people walk off oblivious to what just happened. And the thing about it was Jake was really cool about it and pretty funny, but I could tell, man, behind those eyes, there was some pain. I don't know if you've noticed. the last couple of years, his roles have gotten very, very dark. And to this day, I keep waiting, man, and he has never, ever, ever gotten back together with my cell phone. So that is my story, my brush with Sam.